I'm standing outside Saoirse's apartment at 3 in the morning with my arms full of first aid supplies like an absolute idiot, and, honestly, I have no idea what possessed me to come back here. Oh wait, yes I do. It's because 2 hours ago I watched the woman I've been falling for sprout fur and fangs and turn into something that should not exist outside of a Netflix fantasy series, and instead of doing the sensible thing like running away screaming, I ran away. Had a panic attack in my car, threw up in a McDonald's parking lot, and then immediately started thinking about how badly she was going to be hurt when she turned back. Because that's apparently who I am now. Devika Sharma, ER nurse, disaster lesbian, and apparently someone who can't let a werewolf bleed out just because she has commitment issues and a lycanthropy problem. The first time Saoirse walked into my ER, she had a gash on her arm that looked like she'd been mauled by a very angry cat, except the claw marks were way too big, and she kept insisting she'd gotten it from a fence. I'm a nurse. I know what fence injuries look like. This was not that. But she had these incredible gray eyes that looked like a winter storm, and when I stitched her up, she made this joke about how at least she'd have a cool scar to show off, and I was gone. Absolutely gone. That was 4 months ago. Since then, she's been back every single full moon with increasingly creative explanations. I tripped over my cat. Saoirse, you don't have a cat. I got into a bar fight. The bars aren't even open at the time you say this happened. I'm really clumsy. Nobody is clumsy enough to have identical injury patterns every 28 days like clockwork. 3 weeks ago, I broke every professional boundary I have and slipped her my number. She texted me at 2 a.m. You seem nice. I'm going to ruin your life. Just warning you now. I should have listened. If you're already hooked, smash that like button and subscribe because this story gets so much worse before it gets better. Our first date was coffee, and she spilled her entire latte because her hands were shaking. Sorry, she said, looking mortified. I'm not great with nerves. Or people. Or mornings. Or honestly existing in general. Well, lucky for you, I said, mopping up the table with approximately 40 napkins. I'm excellent at existing. I exist so hard that sometimes I exist for 2 people. We balance out. She laughed, and it was like watching someone remember how. Like she hadn't done it in a while and had to relearn the mechanics. We went on 4 more dates. She kissed me on the 3rd one, pulled away like she'd been burned, apologized 17 times, then kissed me again when I told her to stop apologizing and just kiss me properly. On the 5th date, I tried to hold her hand, and she flinched so hard she knocked over a potted plant in the restaurant. I'm sorry, she said, and she looked like she might cry. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at anything that requires me to not mess everything up. Hey, I said, because my heart was breaking a little. I work in an emergency room. Do you know how many people come in because they've accidentally superglued their fingers together or gotten their head stuck in a railing or sat on a cactus? You're fine. We're fine. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. You don't know what you're signing up for. Try me. That was 6 days ago. Then tonight, the full moon, she ghosted me completely. Wouldn't answer texts, wouldn't answer calls. So obviously, because I have the self-preservation instincts of a lemming, I drove to her apartment. The door was hanging open. The inside looked like a tornado had hit it. Furniture overturned, claw marks in the walls, and there was Saoirse, chaining herself to a radiator with tears streaming down her face. Maya, you need to leave, she said, and her voice was wrong. Deeper. Strained. Please. I can't control it. I can't control any of it when the moon is full and I will hurt you and I cannot hurt you, do you understand me? I cannot be the reason you get hurt. What are you talking about? And then she looked at me, and her eyes weren't gray anymore. They were gold. Bright, burning gold. I'm a werewolf, Devika. And you need to run. Right now. I want to tell you I was brave. I want to tell you I stayed and held her and told her everything would be okay. But I didn't. I ran. I ran so fast I practically left cartoon dust clouds behind me, and I didn't stop running until I was in my car hyperventilating into a paper bag I found in my glove compartment. Because werewolves aren't real. They can't be real. Except I watched her bones start to crack and reshape, watched fur ripple across her skin, watched her face elongate into something that had too many teeth, and it was very, extremely, abundantly real. I sat in that McDonald's parking lot for 20 minutes just trying to breathe. And then I thought about the scars. The monthly injuries. The way she always seemed so scared of herself, like she was waiting for the moment she'd inevitably destroy everything good in her life. The way she looked at me when she told me to run, like she was already mourning something she'd lost. Comment below if you've ever done something absolutely unhinged for someone you care about, because what I did next was certifiably insane. I went home. I grabbed every first aid kit I own, plus the industrial one I may have borrowed permanently from the hospital. Gauze, antiseptic, bandages, surgical tape, the good painkillers, ice packs, and for some reason a bag of frozen peas because I was not thinking clearly. I threw it all in my car and drove back. The apartment is quiet now. Too quiet. I knock on the door frame since the actual door is barely attached to its hinges. Saoirse? Nothing. I step inside. The destruction is worse than I remember. There's blood on the floor. Fur. The chains are broken, just snapped like they were made of paper. And in the corner, curled up in what used to be a closet, is Saoirse. Human again. Naked, covered in cuts and bruises, shaking. You came back, she whispers, and she won't look at me. Why did you come back? I'm a monster. I'm a monster and you should have kept running, and why did you come back? I set down my supplies and grabbed the blanket from her destroyed couch. Because you're hurt. I'm a werewolf. Yeah, I noticed. You're also bleeding from approximately 7 different places and probably have a concussion. So we're going to table the existential crisis and deal with the immediate medical emergency, okay? She finally looks at me, and her eyes are red from crying. You're not scared. Oh, I'm terrified. I'm so scared I might actually pass out. But you're still hurt, and I'm still a nurse, and those two facts are significantly more important than my feelings about the supernatural right now. So come here. She doesn't move. Devika, I could have killed you. I still could. I don't have control. I'm a year into this, and I still don't have control, and everyone who was supposed to help me disappeared, and I'm so alone, and I'm so tired of being alone, and I don't know what to do. And then she's crying, really crying, and I do the only thing I can think of. I cross the destroyed apartment, and I sit down next to her, and I wrap that blanket around her shoulders. You're not alone, I tell her. You're currently sitting next to someone who once tried to make toast in a microwave and started a small fire, so if we're ranking disasters, I think we're pretty evenly matched. She laughs through her tears, which sounds kind of like choking. That's not the same. No, but it proves I make terrible decisions and yet I'm still alive. So maybe this will work out too. Now let me see your arm. That cut looks deep. She extends her arm, and I start cleaning the wound. My hands are steady even though my brain is screaming. Professional mode activated. I can have a breakdown later. How are you this calm? She asks. I'm not. I'm having a very organized panic attack. But I'm good at compartmentalizing. It's a gift and a curse. Mostly a curse. My therapist says I have avoidant coping mechanisms, but I prefer to think of it as being really good under pressure. Your therapist is probably right. Oh, she's definitely right. I just choose to ignore her. That's what I pay her for. The ignoring. Saoirse actually smiles. It's small, but it's there. Subscribe if you want to see where this absolute train wreck of a romance goes, because it gets so much messier. I'm bandaging her ribs when she says, I got bitten a year ago. Wrong place, wrong time. The werewolf who turned me was supposed to help me adjust, but she just vanished. No pack, no guidance, nothing. Just monthly transformations and no idea how to control any of it. I've been fired from 3 jobs. Evicted twice. I destroy everything I touch. Not everything, I say quietly. You haven't destroyed me yet. Give it time. Okay, but I'm very sturdy. I once worked a 16-hour shift on 2 hours of sleep and a Monster energy drink. I'm harder to destroy than you think. She catches my hand, stops me from applying another bandage. Why are you doing this? And here's the thing. I could lie. I could say it's just because I'm a nurse and I can't help myself. But I'm tired and scared, and she just turned into a wolf in front of me, and somehow I'm still here, so I might as well be honest. Because 3 weeks ago you texted me at 2 in the morning that you were going to ruin my life, and instead of blocking you like a sensible person, I texted back, bet, and asked if you wanted to get dinner. Because when you kiss me like I'm the only good thing you've ever touched and you're terrified of breaking me. Because I've watched you come into my ER every month, and every single time you look so alone it makes my chest hurt. And because I just saw you turn into a literal wolf, and my first thought after the screaming and panic was, she's going to be hurt and someone needs to be there when she wakes up. So apparently I'm in this now. I'm all in. Even though you're right, and this is probably going to ruin my life. She stares at me like I've grown a second head. You're insane. Yeah, probably. But you like me anyway. I'm more than like you, she says, and her voice cracks. That's the problem. I'm more than like you, and I'm going to hurt you, and I can't. Then we'll figure it out, I interrupt. Together. Because clearly neither of us should be trusted to make decisions alone. I try to microwave toast, Saoirse. Toast. And you chain yourself to radiators once a month. We're both disasters. But maybe we can be disasters together. She leans her forehead against mine, and she's still crying. I don't know how to do this. Neither do I. But I'm really good at Googling things, and I have a high tolerance for chaos. So we'll start there. We spend the next hour with me patching her up and her telling me everything. About the bite, about the transformations, about how anger makes it worse. How she's always had a temper, but now when she gets mad there's a genuine chance she'll sprout claws in the middle of an argument. How she's been trying to handle this alone because she doesn't want to be a burden to anyone. You're not a burden, I tell her for the 17th time. You're just incredibly bad at asking for help. Which, same. So again, evenly matched. What if I hurt you? What if you don't? What if we figure this out and you learn control, and we have a completely normal relationship except for the once-a-month wolf situation? Which honestly, everyone has their thing. My ex used to collect ceramic frogs. At least your thing is interesting. She laughs, and this time it sounds real. You're comparing my lycanthropy to a frog collection. I'm saying everyone has baggage. Yours just happens to be supernatural. I can work with that. You're serious. Devastatingly serious. Unfortunately serious. So serious it's actually concerning. My friends are going to stage an intervention. She kisses me then, and it's desperate and grateful and a little bit bloody because she split her lip during the transformation. When she pulls back, she says, I don't deserve you. Lucky for you, I have terrible taste in women and no sense of self-preservation. Now you're going to sleep, and I'm going to clean this place up a little, and tomorrow we're going to figure out next steps. Which probably involves finding you an actual pack who knows what they're doing because I can stitch you up, but I cannot teach you werewolf control. That's above my pay grade. You're staying. Where else would I go? My apartment doesn't have a woman who can turn into a wolf. This is way more interesting. I stay. I clean up what I can, which isn't much because her apartment looks like a crime scene, but I try. She falls asleep on the couch with her head in my lap, and I sit there playing with her hair and having a very quiet breakdown now that she can't see me. Because what am I doing? This is insane. This is beyond insane. I'm sitting in a destroyed apartment with a werewolf sleeping on me, and I'm planning our future like this is normal. But then she makes this small sound in her sleep, something between a whimper and a sigh, and she curls closer to me like I'm the only safe thing in her world. And I think, okay, we'll figure this out. The next morning, she wakes up and immediately panics. You're still here. Where else would I be? Literally anywhere else. Anywhere sane. Devika, you watched me turn into a monster last night and you came back. With first aid supplies. Who does that? Someone who's apparently very emotionally invested in your well-being. Also, I need you to stop calling yourself a monster. You're a werewolf. Those are different things. How are those different things? Monsters don't cry themselves to sleep worried about hurting people. Monsters don't chain themselves up to protect others. You're not a monster, Saoirse. You're just someone dealing with a really complicated medical condition. A supernatural medical condition, but still. She sits up, wincing. I don't know how to do this. Be with someone. Let someone see me like this. Well, lucky for you, I'm incredibly pushy and have no boundaries. It's my worst quality. My friends hate it. You're going to hate it too, probably. But we're doing this anyway because I'm already attached and you're stuck with me now. What's the plan? Saoirse asks, and she looks so young and scared. The plan is I'm going to use my extremely limited knowledge of werewolf lore, which comes entirely from bad television, and one really weird Wikipedia rabbit hole I went down at 3 a.m., and we're going to find you a proper pack. People who actually know what they're doing. Because you need help and I need you to not destroy your apartment every month, because eventually your landlord is going to notice. I've been looking. There's no one. The werewolf who bit me disappeared. I don't know how to find others. Okay, but I'm really good at research. It's literally my job. Finding veins, finding information, same skill set basically. We'll figure it out. And we do. It takes 3 days of obsessive Googling, calling in favors from the one hospital orderly who's really into occult stuff, and finally posting on an extremely sketchy Reddit forum. But we get a response. There's a pack 2 hours north. They help newly turned wolves. They have structure, training, support. They want to meet me, Saoirse says, staring at her phone. Tomorrow. Great. I'm coming with you. Devika. Not negotiable. You're not doing this alone. We established this. I'm pushy, remember? It's my thing. She looks at me like I'm the most confusing thing that's ever happened to her. Why do you care this much? Because someone has to. And also because I'm in love with you, which is terrible timing and completely inconvenient, but there it is. So we're going to meet this pack and you're going to learn control, and we're going to figure this out together because that's what people do when they're in love. They show up. Even when it's scary. Especially when it's scary. She doesn't say anything for a long moment. Then, I love you too. I think I've loved you since you stitched up my arm and made that stupid joke about scars. And it terrifies me. Good. I'd be worried if you weren't terrified. I'm terrified. We can be terrified together. Now, let's go meet some werewolves and hope they don't eat me. Drop a like if you think I'm making a huge mistake, because spoiler alert, the pack meeting goes sideways in ways I could never have predicted, and what happens next changes everything. The pack meeting is in a cabin that looks like it was decorated by someone who watched too much Pinterest and not enough horror movies. There are throw pillows. Actual throw pillows with little paw prints on them. I'm about to meet a group of literal werewolves and someone thought aesthetic was important. This feels like a trap, I whisper to Saoirse as we walk up the porch steps. It's not a trap. That's exactly what someone would say if it was a trap. Devika, you literally demanded to come. I know, but now that we're here I'm having regrets. Big regrets. Massive regrets. Should we have a safe word? I feel like we should have a safe word. Before Saoirse can respond, the door swings open and there's a woman standing there who looks like she could bench press a car. She's got silver hair despite looking maybe 30, arms covered in tattoos, and eyes that are doing that weird gold flickering thing that I've now learned means werewolf. You must be Saoirse, she says, her voice surprisingly warm. And you brought a human. This is Devika, Saoirse says quickly. My girlfriend. She knows everything. She's cool. I'm extremely not cool, I correct, because honesty. I'm actually very uncool. I'm sweating through my shirt right now and I ate an entire bag of gummy bears on the drive here. But I'm here and I'm supportive and I promise not to scream if anyone does anything wolfy. The woman, who introduces herself as Morrigan, because apparently werewolves have cool names, actually laughs. I like her. Come in. The inside of the cabin is even more aggressively cozy than the outside. There are 6 other people sitting around a large wooden table, all of them watching us with varying degrees of curiosity and suspicion. And I do what I always do when I'm nervous. I start talking. Hi everyone, I'm Devika. I'm a nurse. I'm very bad at first impressions, and yes, I know I'm human and probably shouldn't be here, but Saoirse is my girlfriend and she needs help and I have attachment issues, so here we are. Is that coffee I smell? Because I would love some coffee. I didn't sleep last night. Well, I haven't really slept in 3 days actually. Is that normal? Should I be concerned? My therapist says my caffeine consumption is problematic, but she also says a lot of things I ignore. Saoirse puts her hand on my arm. Devika. Breathe. Right. Breathing. I'm great at breathing. I do it all the time. Morrigan gestures for us to sit, and we do. She pours me coffee without asking, which I appreciate because I was about 30 seconds away from just grabbing the pot. So, Morrigan says, sitting across from us, "You're a newly turned wolf with no pack guidance. That's dangerous. For you and everyone around you." "I know," Saoirse says quietly. "I've been trying to manage on my own, but it's not working. I can't control the transformations. I can't control my anger. I'm hurting myself every month, and I'm terrified I'm going to hurt someone else." One of the other werewolves, a guy who looks like he's maybe 20 and has the most unfortunate soul patch I've ever seen, scoffs. "You brought a human to a pack meeting. That shows how much control you don't have." "Hey," I say, before I can stop myself. "She brought me because I insisted on coming. And also because I'm very stubborn and she's learned that arguing with me is pointless. So maybe direct your judgment somewhere else, soul patch." There's a moment of dead silence. Then Morrigan bursts out laughing. "Soul patch. I'm calling you that forever now, James." James looks murderous, and I realize I maybe should have kept my mouth shut. But it's too late now, and I've never been good at reading rooms. Anyway, Morrigan continues, still grinning, "We can help you. But pack life has rules. Structure. You'd need to integrate, learn our ways, attend training sessions. It's not just about controlling the wolf. It's about controlling yourself." "I'll do whatever it takes," Saoirse says. "And what about you?" Morrigan asks, looking at me. "You understand what you're signing up for? Dating a werewolf isn't like dating a human with a weird hobby. This is dangerous. Complicated. There will be full moons where she can't be around you. Pack obligations. Politics. I watched her transform 3 days ago, I say. I ran away, had a panic attack, and then came back with medical supplies because I couldn't stand the thought of her being hurt and alone. So yeah, I think I understand what I'm signing up for. Also, I once dated a woman who was really into competitive taxidermy, so my bar for complicated is pretty high." Another werewolf, an older woman with kind eyes, chokes on her drink. "Competitive taxidermy? It's exactly what it sounds like. There were contests. And a lot of dead squirrels in our freezer. This is honestly less weird." Saoirse covers her face with her hands. "Oh my god. What?" "I'm being supportive." Morrigan is looking at me like I'm the most entertaining thing she's seen in years. "All right. Here's what's going to happen. Saoirse, you'll start training with us. 3 times a week, plus full moon supervision until you can manage transformations safely. You'll learn control techniques, anger management, the works." "Thank you," Saoirse breathes. "Thank you so much." "Don't thank me yet. This is hard work. And you," she points at me, "you're going to need to learn some things too. How to recognize the signs of an approaching transformation. What to do if she loses control. Pack etiquette." "Pack etiquette? Is there a handbook? Please tell me there's a handbook." "I'm very good with handbooks." "There's no handbook." "That seems like an oversight. You should really have a handbook." "I could make you a handbook." "I'm excellent at PowerPoint." Comment below if you think I should actually make them a werewolf handbook, because I'm seriously considering it. The meeting continues, and I'm doing okay until Morrigan starts explaining pack hierarchy, and I make the mistake of asking if werewolves also do that thing where dogs present their belly as a sign of submission. The silence is deafening. "Did you just compare us to dogs?" James asks, and his eyes are definitely doing the gold thing now. "No. I mean, sort of. But in a respectful way. I'm asking from a place of genuine curiosity and also terror." Saoirse squeezes my hand so hard I think she might break a finger. "Davika. Stop talking." "Right. Stopping." Mouth closed. I'm a mime now. A very quiet mime. Morrigan, to her credit, is still amused. "We're not dogs. We're wolves. There's a difference. Right? Yes, obviously. Wolves. Much more dignified. Very apex predator." I apologize for the dog comparison. It was speciesist of me. "Speciesist isn't a word," Soul Patch James mutters. "It is now. I just made it one. Language is fluid." Saoirse physically puts her hand over my mouth. But here's where things get really interesting. Because just as I'm about to behave myself, there's a knock at the door. Morrigan's expression changes immediately, going from amused to tense in half a second. Stay here, she says, getting up. She opens the door and there's a man standing there. Late 40s, expensive suit, the kind of energy that says I'm important and I know it. And the moment he steps inside, every single werewolf in the room goes still. Morrigan, he says, his voice smooth. I heard you were taking in strays. Thought I'd come see for myself. Killian, Morrigan says, and there's an edge to her voice now. This is pack business, not territory business. Everything in my territory is my business. I lean over to Saoirse. Who's the angry businessman? That's Killian Burke. He's the alpha of the regional pack. Basically werewolf royalty. Oh, should I be more impressed? I feel like I should be more impressed. Killian's eyes land on me. And who's the human? Before anyone can answer, I stand up, because apparently I have a death wish. Devika Sharma. Nice to meet you. I'm here with my girlfriend who's learning to be a werewolf. Well, she is a werewolf. She's just learning to be better at it. Which I guess is what we're all doing, really. Learning to be better at things. I'm trying to be better at not talking when I'm nervous, but clearly that's not going well. Smash that like button if you think I'm about to get eaten by werewolf royalty. Killian stares at me like I've grown a second head. Your girlfriend. Yes. Saoirse. She's right there. She's very pretty and also very stressed right now because I won't shut up. A human dating a newly turned wolf with no pack affiliation. He says it like it's the stupidest thing he's ever heard. That's dangerous. Reckless. You know what else is reckless? I say, and Saoirse makes a sound like a dying animal. Leaving newly turned werewolves without any guidance or support. Because that's what happened to Saoirse. She got bitten, the werewolf who turned her vanished, and she's been struggling alone for a year. So maybe instead of judging her for trying to get help, you could acknowledge that the system failed her first. The room is so quiet, I can hear my own heartbeat. Killian takes a step closer to me. You have a mouth on you. Yeah, I've been told. It's my worst quality. Well, one of many worst qualities. I also can't fold fitted sheets and I'm terrible at parallel parking. Devika, Saoirse hisses. Please stop antagonizing the most powerful werewolf in the region. I'm not antagonizing. I'm just stating facts. Facts aren't antagonistic. Killian looks at Morrigan. You're training her? Yes. And you're allowing a human to be involved? The human has a name, I interject. And also ears. I'm right here. He ignores me. This is irregular. Humans don't integrate with pack business. Well, maybe that's a stupid rule, I say, because I truly cannot help myself. Because Saoirse needs support, and I'm part of her support system, and excluding me doesn't help anyone. Also, I'm a nurse. I'm literally trained to help people. So actually, I'm an asset. You're welcome. Saoirse has her face in her hands again. We're going to die. We're actually going to die. But Killian does something unexpected. He laughs. It's not a warm laugh, but it's a laugh. You're either very brave or very stupid. Definitely stupid, I say immediately. But I'm also very committed. So here we are. Fine, Killian says. Train her. Both of them, apparently, since the human seems determined to be involved. But there are conditions. What conditions? Morrigan asks carefully. The newly turned wolf joins my pack. Not yours. The room erupts. Every werewolf starts talking at once, and I'm completely lost because I don't understand pack politics, but I understand tension, and there's a lot of it. That's not how this works, Morrigan says. She came to us for help. And I'm offering better help. Resources. Protection. A proper place in the hierarchy. Under your control. Under my guidance. I look at Saoirse. What's happening? He wants me to join his pack instead. Which is a big deal. His pack is powerful but also really controlling. Morrigan's pack is smaller but more flexible. So it's like choosing between a corporate job with good benefits or a startup with better culture? She blinks at me. That's actually a perfect comparison. I told you I'm good at analogies. It's because I watch a lot of reality TV. You learn things. Killian turns to Saoirse. What do you want? And here's where Saoirse does something I'm not expecting. She stands up, takes a breath, and says, I want to train with Morrigan's pack. They reached out when no one else did. They're offering help without strings attached. And I trust them. You're making a mistake, Killian says. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. I'm so proud I could cry. Actually, I might be crying a little. It's hard to tell. Killian looks at her for a long moment, then at me, then back at Morgan. Fine. But when she loses control and hurts someone, that's on you. She won't, I say firmly. Because she's going to have support and training and people who actually believe in her. So thanks for the vote of confidence, but we're good. He leaves without another word, and the moment the door closes, I collapse back into my chair. Did I just mouth off to werewolf royalty? Yes, Saoirse says. Am I going to die? Probably not immediately. That's not as reassuring as you think it is. Morgan sits back down, and she's grinning. You're either going to be the best thing that ever happened to this pack, or you're going to get us all killed. I haven't decided which yet. I'm hoping for option 1, but I understand option 2 is also very possible. The rest of the meeting goes smoother. They outline a training schedule for Saoirse, basic safety protocols for me, and what to expect during the next full moon. I ask approximately 700 questions, take notes on my phone, and only accidentally offend someone 2 more times, which I consider a win. As we're leaving, Morgan pulls me aside. You love her, she says. It's not a question. Yeah, I really do. Is that stupid? No. It's brave. She's going to need that. This isn't going to be easy. I know. But I'm good at hard things. I once stayed awake for 36 hours during a hospital crisis and only hallucinated twice. I've got stamina. She laughs. You're going to fit in just fine here. Even if you are completely unhinged. Thank you. I think that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. The drive home is quiet. Saoirse is processing everything, and I'm trying not to think about how I just insulted multiple werewolves and somehow lived. Thank you, she says finally. For coming with me. For standing up for me. For being completely ridiculous and somehow making it work. That's my brand. Ridiculous and effective. I mean it. I've never had anyone fight for me like that. We'll get used to it, because I'm very annoying and very persistent, and you're stuck with me now. She reaches over and takes my hand. I don't want to be stuck with anyone else. Good. Because I already told my friends about you, and if we break up now I'll look stupid. You told your friends you're dating a werewolf? I told them I'm dating someone with a complicated medical condition, and they think you have Crohn's disease. I'll tell them the truth eventually. Maybe. Probably not. They worry. She's laughing now, really laughing, and it's the best sound I've ever heard. We get back to my apartment because hers is still a disaster zone and she's been staying with me. I offered, she protested. I told her my couch was actually very comfortable and I had good water pressure, and she moved in 3 days ago with a duffel bag and a lot of apologies. I'm going to find a new place, she says for the 100th time. Or you could just stay here. Devika, we've been dating for 3 weeks. Yeah, but we've also been through a werewolf transformation, a pack meeting, and you've seen me in my retainer. That's at least 6 months of relationship development. We're speedrunning this. That's not how relationships work. Says who? I'm making new rules. Rule 1. If you've seen your girlfriend turn into a wolf, you get to skip the normal relationship timeline. It's in the handbook. What handbook? The one I'm going to write. Keep up. She kisses me, and I kiss her back, and for a moment everything is perfect. Then her phone buzzes. She looks at it and her expression changes. What's wrong? It's from a number I don't recognize. It says, "Oh God." She shows me the screen. The message is simple. You made a mistake choosing Morgan's pack. We'll be in touch. Is that a threat? I ask. I think so. From who? I don't know. But after today, it could be anyone. The next few days are tense. Saoirse starts training with Morgan's pack, and I go with her when I can. They teach her breathing techniques, meditation, how to recognize the early signs of transformation. It's fascinating and also deeply weird. I'm watching a training session when one of the werewolves, a woman named Brit who's probably the nicest person I've ever met, asks if I want to try some of the exercises. Me? I'm not a werewolf. No, but you're around one. Might help you understand what she's going through. So I try it. The meditation, the breathing, the focusing exercises. And I'm actually getting into it when I hear snickering. I open my eyes and Soul Patch James is watching me with the most obnoxious smirk. What? I ask. You look ridiculous. You have a soul patch. Your opinion on appearances is invalid. The snickering stops. Brid tries not to laugh. Why do you keep insulting me? James demands. Because you keep being easy to insult. It's a target-rich environment. Maybe be less insultable. That's not a word. It is now. I'm expanding the language. You're welcome. Saoirse pulls me aside. You need to stop antagonizing James. He started it. You're 32 years old. And he has a soul patch at 20. We're both making questionable choices. That night, we're back at my apartment when Saoirse gets another message. This one includes a photo. It's of us leaving Morrigan's pack house. Someone is watching us. Okay, that's creepy, I say, trying to stay calm. That's very creepy. Should we call someone? The police? Werewolf police? Is that a thing? Morrigan needs to know. Saoirse is shaking. We call her. She's furious. Apparently this kind of surveillance is a major pack violation, and she has suspicions about who's behind it. Killian's testing you, she says. Trying to scare you into joining his pack instead. Well, it's working, I say. I'm very scared. I'm stress eating ice cream directly from the container right now. Don't let him win. Just be careful. Both of you. We hang up, and I look at Saoirse. We're in danger, aren't we? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Okay. Cool. Cool. I'm going to have another panic attack now. Devika. I'm kidding. Mostly. But seriously, what do? We keep going. Keep training. Show Killian we're not backing down. I like that plan. That's a good plan. Very brave. Possibly stupid, but brave. 3 days later, Saoirse's training is going well. Really well. She's learning control, managing her anger better, and she hasn't had any accidental transformations. We're celebrating with takeout when there's a knock at my door. I open it and there's a woman standing there. Mid-20s, black leather jacket, and eyes that are doing the gold thing. Devika Sharma? She asks. Yes. I'm Neve. I need to talk to you about Saoirse. Saoirse appears behind me. Neve? What are you doing here? Warning you. Both of you. Killian isn't just testing you. He's planning something. And whatever it is, it's happening soon. Comment if you think Neve is telling the truth or if this is another test, and stay tuned because what happens in the next 24 hours will change everything. Neve sits at my kitchen table like she owns the place, and I'm trying to figure out if I should offer her tea or start screaming. How do you know Killian is planning something? Saoirse asks. Because I'm part of his pack. Or I was, until I figured out what he's really doing. Which is, he's not just recruiting newly turned wolves. He's collecting them. Building an army. And you rejected him, which means you're either a threat or an example. An example of what? I ask. What happens when someone says no to Killian Burke? The room goes cold. So, what do? Saoirse asks quietly. You have 2 options. Leave town and hope he forgets about you. Or you stand your ground and prepare for a fight. I look at Saoirse. She looks at me. We're not running, we say in unison. Neve smiles. Good. Because I was really hoping you'd say that. Make sure you like this video and subscribe because the preparation for what's coming involves pack alliances, my extremely unhelpful attempt at making wolfsbane repellent, and the moment Saoirse discovers I've been taking self-defense classes behind her back. The next 3 days are the most chaotic 72 hours of my entire life, and I once worked a holiday weekend ER shift where someone came in with a Christmas ornament stuck somewhere it absolutely should not have been, so that's saying something. Day 1 of preparation starts with Morrigan gathering her entire pack at the cabin, plus Neve, plus me sitting in the corner trying not to have a breakdown while eating my body weight in stress pretzels. If Killian is planning something for the full moon, we need to be ready, Morrigan says, pacing. He'll use the chaos of multiple transformations to make his move. What kind of move are we talking about? I ask, raising my hand like I'm in school because apparently stress makes me revert to childhood behaviors. Could be anything. A challenge for pack leadership. An attempt to forcibly recruit Saoirse. Or worse, make an example of her for rejecting him. That last one sounds bad. That sounds very bad. How do we prevent the very bad option? We show strength. Unity. We make it clear that Saoirse is under our protection. Soul Patch James, because the universe hates me, scoffs. We're supposed to go to war with Killian Burke over a newly turned wolf and her human girlfriend? Her human girlfriend has a name, I snap. And also, if you have a problem with me, just say it directly instead of doing this passive-aggressive thing. I'm from Jersey. I can handle confrontation. You're from New Jersey? Britt asks, delighted. Born and raised. Which explains so much about my personality, I know. Saoirse squeezes my hand. Devika, maybe let's not antagonize people right now. I'm not antagonizing, I'm establishing boundaries. There's a difference. Morrigan actually smiles. James, shut up. Devika, you're fine. Everyone else, here's the plan. She outlines strategy for the full moon. Where everyone will transform, who will keep watch, how to respond if Killian shows up. It's very tactical and organized, and I'm taking notes on my phone like my life depends on it, which it probably does. What about me? I ask. What do I do during all this? You stay as far away as possible, Saoirse says immediately. Absolutely not. Devika, it's going to be dangerous. Multiple werewolves transforming in close proximity, potential threats. I can't focus on keeping you safe and managing my own transformation. So don't focus on keeping me safe. Focus on you. I'll keep myself safe. How? I've been taking self-defense classes. The entire room goes silent. Saoirse turns to me slowly. You've been what? Taking self-defense classes. For 3 weeks now. Twice a week. I found a place that specializes in weapons defense, and I've been learning how to use a taser and also how to throw a decent punch. My instructor says I have good instincts, but terrible form. Why didn't you tell me? Because you would have told me not to do it, and I would have done it anyway, so I just skipped the argument part. That's not how relationships work. And yet here we are, in a relationship, and it worked. Neve is grinning. I like her more every time she talks. Thank you, Neve. You're my favorite werewolf now. I'm your girlfriend. Saoirse says. You're my favorite girlfriend werewolf. Neve is my favorite ally werewolf. Different categories. The argument continues for another 20 minutes before Morrigan intervenes and says I can be present, but I have to stay in a secure location with Britt, who's volunteered to stay human during the full moon to keep watch. I agree because it's the best compromise I'm going to get. Day 2 of preparation involves me doing something so stupid that Saoirse almost breaks up with me on the spot. I try to make wolfsbane repellent. In my defense, I read about it on a very legitimate-looking website that was definitely not just someone's supernatural fanfiction disguised as folklore research. The recipe seemed simple enough. Wolfsbane extract, silver shavings, some other ingredients I can't pronounce. The problem is that wolfsbane is extremely toxic, and I maybe should have researched that part before ordering it online. I'm in my kitchen, wearing rubber gloves and following the instructions, when Saoirse comes home early from training and finds me surrounded by suspicious plants and what looks like a bomb-making setup. Devika, what the hell are you doing? Making werewolf repellent. That's wolfsbane. I know. That's the point. That can kill me. Not if I use it right. She crosses the room in 3 steps and starts throwing everything into the trash. You could poison yourself. You could poison me. You could poison the entire building. What were you thinking? I was thinking I wanted to protect you. By making illegal toxic substances in our kitchen? When you say it like that, it sounds bad. Because it is bad. We have our first real fight. It's loud and messy and I cry and she storms out and I'm left standing in my kitchen surrounded by trash wondering if I just ruined everything. She comes back 2 hours later with takeout and an apology. I'm sorry I yelled, she says quietly. I'm sorry I tried to make poison in our kitchen without telling you. Our kitchen. I freeze. I said our kitchen. You did. I meant my kitchen. Slip of the tongue. Devika. Okay, fine. I've been thinking of it as our kitchen for like 2 weeks now because you live here and your stuff is here and we share the space and I like it that way. There. Happy? She kisses me, soft and gentle. Very happy. But please stop trying to make werewolf weapons. I make no promises. Devika. Fine. I promise. Mostly. Day 3. The day before the full moon starts normally enough. Saoirse is at training. I'm at work pulling a double shift because the universe has terrible timing. I'm exhausted, running on coffee and spite when I get a text from Neve. We need to talk. It's about Saoirse. Meet me at the diner on 5th. I tell my supervisor I'm taking my break and I practically run to the diner. Neve is already there, looking nervous, which is concerning because she doesn't seem like someone who gets nervous. What's wrong? I ask, sliding into the booth. How much do you know about how Saoirse was turned? Just that she was bitten a year ago and the werewolf disappeared. Did she tell you who bit her? No. Why? Neve takes a breath. It was Killian. The world stops. What? Killian bit her. Not directly, but he ordered it. He has people who turn humans he thinks would make good pack members. Strong-willed, angry, easy to manipulate. Saoirse was supposed to be recruited into his pack. But when his wolf went to explain, Saoirse fought back and they left her. She doesn't know this? No. And if Killian finds out that she's learned control, that she's strong, he's going to want her even more. Or he's going to want her gone. I feel sick. Why are you telling me this? Because tomorrow night, Killian is going to give her a choice. Join him or face the consequences. And she needs to know the truth before she makes that decision. I have to tell her. You have to. But Devika, when you do, she's going to be furious. She's going to feel betrayed. And she might do something reckless. Then I'll stop her from doing something reckless. That's literally my entire relationship skill set. Neve smiles sadly. Good luck. I leave the diner and I'm shaking. I go straight to Morgan's cabin where Saoirse is finishing training. I pull her aside and I tell her everything. She goes very, very still. Killian did this to me, she says quietly. Yes. He ruined my life and then tried to recruit me like I should be grateful. Yes. I'm going to kill him. No, you're not. Devika, I'm going to kill him. Saoirse, listen to me. That's exactly what he wants. He wants you angry and out of control. He wants you to prove that you're dangerous so he can justify whatever he's planning. We're not giving him that. Then what do? We stick to the plan. We show him you're in control. That you have a pack. That you're not alone and you're not afraid. She's crying now, angry tears streaming down her face. I'm so tired of being afraid. I know. But tomorrow, you don't have to be afraid alone. You've got me. You've got Morrigan's pack. We're all going to be there. She pulls me into a hug so tight I can barely breathe. I love you. I love you too. Even though you're probably going to do something stupid tomorrow and give me a heart attack. Probably. At least you're honest. Comment below if you think Saoirse is going to keep her cool or if she's about to go full werewolf rage on Killian, and make sure you're subscribed because the full moon showdown is next. The full moon rises at 8:47 p.m. We're all gathered at Morgan's property, which is basically a compound in the woods with multiple cabins and a lot of open space. The plan is for everyone to transform in a controlled area with Brid and me keeping watch from the main cabin. Except at 8:30, Killian shows up with 6 members of his pack. This is private property, Morgan says, and she's already starting to change. Her eyes are gold, her voice is deeper. I'm here to talk to Saoirse, Killian says calmly. One last time. Saoirse steps forward, and I grab her arm. Don't. I have to. You really don't. But she pulls away and walks toward Killian, and my heart is in my throat. I know what you did, Saoirse says. I know you had me turned. I know you abandoned me. And I know you've been trying to manipulate me ever since. Killian doesn't even look surprised. And yet here you are, stronger than ever. You should be thanking me. Thanking you? You destroyed my life. I gave you a better one. Power. Strength. A chance to be something more than human. I didn't want this. But you have it now. And you can either use it with my pack, or you can waste it with Morgan's charity case operation. The insult hits its mark. Saoirse's hands are shaking, her eyes flashing gold. Don't, I call out. Saoirse, don't let him bait you. But the moon is rising and transformations are starting and everything is chaos. Saoirse begins to change. But unlike before, unlike the violent, painful transformation I witnessed in her apartment, this is different. She's controlling it, directing it, And when she's fully transformed, she's magnificent. She's a massive silver wolf with those same gray storm eyes, and she's staring Killian down. Impressive, Killian says. You've learned control. Which makes my offer even more generous. Join my pack. Tonight. Or I'll make sure you regret refusing me twice. And here's where I do the stupidest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I step between them. She said no, I tell Killian. She said no twice now. How many times does a woman have to reject you before you take the hint? Devika, what are you doing? Brit hisses from behind me. Something incredibly stupid. Just go with it. Killian looks at me like I'm an insect. The human thinks she has a say in pack business. The human is standing right here, and yes, she does have a say, because Saoirse is my girlfriend and you're harassing her, and I'm from Jersey, so I don't back down from bullies even when they're supernatural. You have no idea what you're risking. I have some idea. Pretty good idea, actually. But here's the thing. Saoirse has spent a year alone, scared, thinking she was a monster because you abandoned her. And now she has people who actually care about her. A pack that supports her. And a girlfriend who's probably going to die young from stress, but is really committed to this relationship. So you can take your recruitment speech and shove it. There's a moment of absolute silence. Then Killian laughs. You're brave. Stupid, but brave. I get that a lot. Unfortunately, bravery isn't enough. He signals to his pack, and they start to move forward. Morrigan's pack, all transformed now, moves to intercept. And I'm standing in the middle of what's about to become a werewolf war thinking this is how I die. But then Saoirse does something incredible. She howls. It's not just a sound. It's a command. It's a statement. And every single werewolf stops. She shifts back to human, standing there naked and powerful and completely in control. No, she says, her voice steady. No fighting. No war. No giving Killian what he wants. What I want is you in my pack, Killian says. And what I want is for you to leave me alone. I'm not interested in your pack. I'm not interested in your power games. I'm building a life with people I trust. And you're not part of that life. You're making a mistake. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. Just like Devika said. I beam. I did say that. I say good things sometimes. Killian looks at Saoirse for a long moment. Then at me. Then back at Saoirse. You have 1 month, he says finally. 1 month to prove you can maintain control. If you slip even once, if you hurt someone, I'm coming back. And next time, I won't be offering a choice. He leaves with his pack, and the moment they're gone, everyone starts talking at once. Morrigan transforms back to human. That was either the bravest or stupidest thing I've ever seen. Both, I say. Definitely both. Saoirse walks over to me, still naked, still powerful, and kisses me in front of everyone. You're insane, she says. Yeah, but you love me anyway. I really do. Good. Because I just confronted werewolf royalty for you, and I'd like that to count for something. Brid brings Saoirse a robe, and we all head back to the cabins. The full moon transformation continues, but now it's controlled. Peaceful. And I'm sitting on the porch with Saoirse, watching the pack run through the woods. 1 month, she says quietly. I have 1 month to prove I'm in control. You are in control. You were amazing tonight. I almost lost it. When he told me he was responsible for turning me, I wanted to tear him apart. But you didn't. That's what matters. She leans against me. What if I can't do this? What if I slip? Then we deal with it. Together. That's how this works. I don't deserve you. You absolutely don't. I'm a catch. But you're stuck with me now, so you might as well accept it. She laughs, and it's the best sound in the world. The next 3 weeks are perfect. Saoirse is training, learning, growing stronger. Her control is incredible. She hasn't had a single accidental transformation. We're actually starting to relax. Which is, of course, when everything goes wrong. I'm at work, end of a long shift, when I get a call from Saoirse. She's crying. Devika, I need you to come home. Right now. What's wrong? Just come home. Please. I leave immediately, driving way over the speed limit, and when I get to the apartment, Saoirse is sitting on the floor surrounded by broken glass. What happened? I got fired, she says. My boss found out about the werewolf thing. Someone told him. And he fired me on the spot. Said I was a liability. That's illegal. That's discrimination. We can fight this. With what proof? I'm a werewolf, Devika. He's right. I am a liability. You're not. Yes, I am. She stands up and she's shaking. I'm a monster who can barely keep it together. I got fired because I'm a freak. And it's only going to get worse. Saoirse, you should leave. Before I ruin your life too. I'm not leaving. Why not? Everyone else does. And there it is. The anger. The hurt. The fear that she's been carrying for a year. Because I love you, I say firmly. Because you're not a monster. Because getting fired sucks, but it's not the end of the world. We'll figure it out. How? I don't know yet. But we will. Together. Like we always do. She collapses into my arms, crying. I'm so tired. I know. But you're doing so well. This is just a setback. What if Killian finds out? What if he uses this against me? Then we deal with that too. But I'm worried. Because someone told her boss. Someone is targeting her. And we need to find out who. It takes 2 days to figure out who told Saoirse's boss. It was James. Soul Patch James from Morrigan's pack. He confesses during a pack meeting, looking defiant. She doesn't belong here. She's unstable. A risk to all of us. You had no right, Morrigan says, furious. I had every right. I'm protecting the pack. By sabotaging one of our own? She's not one of us. She's a newly turned wolf with a human girlfriend and no sense of pack loyalty. Saoirse stands up, and I can see her fighting for control. You're right. I am newly turned. I do have a human girlfriend. But I have more pack loyalty than you'll ever have because I actually care about the people here. You're just scared. Scared of what? That I'm going to be better than you. Stronger. More in control. And you can't handle it. James lunges at her. It's instinct. She transforms mid-fight, and suddenly there are 2 wolves going at each other in the cabin. Stop. Morrigan shouts, but they don't listen. I do the only thing I can think of. I grab a pot from the kitchen and bang it as loud as I can while screaming, HY. Idiots. Stop fighting. It's so unexpected that they actually stop. Both wolves turn to look at me. Yeah, you, I say, pointing at them with a wooden spoon I've somehow acquired. This is stupid. You're both being stupid. James, you're insecure and you're taking it out on someone who doesn't deserve it. Saoirse, you're better than this. Don't let him bait you. They both transform back. James looks ashamed. Saoirse looks shocked. Did you just stop a werewolf fight with a wooden spoon? Britt asks. Apparently. I don't know. I panicked. Morrigan banishes James from the pack. It's harsh but necessary and everyone agrees. But the damage is done. Saoirse lost control. She shifted in anger. And Killian is going to find out. He shows up the next day. I heard about the incident, he says, standing in our apartment like he owns it. It was handled, Saoirse says. Was it? Because from what I heard, you lost control and attacked another pack member. He attacked first. Details. The point is, you're not as stable as you claimed. Which means our agreement is void. What do you want? I ask, stepping forward. Simple. Saoirse joins my pack, or I report her to the regional council as an unstable wolf. They'll put her down. The room goes cold. You can't do that, Saoirse whispers. I can. And I will. Unless you agree to my terms. She's not joining your pack, I say. Then she's signing her death warrant. There has to be another option. There isn't. Saoirse looks at me, and I see the defeat in her eyes. She's going to agree. She's going to sacrifice herself to keep me safe. Wait, I say. What if she challenges you? Everyone stares at me. What? Killian asks. Pack law, right? If she challenges you and wins, you have to leave her alone. Forever. Devika, what are you doing? Saoirse hisses. Giving you a third option. You don't have to join him. You don't have to die. You fight him. And you win. I can't beat him. He's too powerful. Maybe. But you're smarter. Faster. And you have something he doesn't. What? A wooden spoon-wielding girlfriend who believes in you. Killian laughs. You want her to challenge me? An alpha who's been a werewolf for 200 years? She'll die. Maybe, I say. But at least she'll die fighting. Which is better than either of your options. The challenge is set for the next full moon. Neutral territory. Both packs as witnesses. Saoirse trains harder than I've ever seen anyone train. Morrigan teaches her strategy. Brid teaches her endurance. Neve, who's officially joined Morrigan's pack now, teaches her dirty fighting tricks. And me? I research everything I can about werewolf challenges. Rules, loopholes, historical fights. I become an expert in supernatural combat law. You're going to be okay, I tell Saoirse the night before the challenge. You don't know that. No. But I believe it anyway. She kisses me. If I don't make it. Don't. Devika, if I don't make it, I need you to know that this year with you has been the best year of my life. Even with all the chaos and transformations and drama. You made me feel human again. You're going to make it. And then we're going to get married and adopt a dog and live a boringly normal life. We're getting married? Did I not mention that? Yeah. I decided like 2 months ago. I was going to wait for a romantic moment, but apparently I have terrible timing. She's crying and laughing. You're proposing the night before I might die? I'm proposing because you're not going to die. You're going to win. And then you're going to marry me. So really this is just advanced planning. You're insane. Yeah, but you love me. I really do. The next night, we gather at the challenge site. It's a clearing in the woods, lit by the full moon. Both packs are there. The tension is suffocating. Killian arrives looking confident. Saoirse arrives looking terrified but determined. Last chance to back out, Killian offers. Not a chance, Saoirse says. The challenge begins. It's brutal. Killian is bigger, stronger, more experienced. He tears into Saoirse within the first minute, and I'm screaming her name from the sidelines. But Saoirse is smart. She uses her speed, her agility. She goes for weak points. And slowly, impossibly, she starts to gain ground. They fight for 20 minutes that feel like 20 hours. And then Saoirse does something brilliant. She feints left, Killian follows, and she uses his momentum against him. She gets him on the ground, teeth at his throat. Yield, she growls. For a moment, I think he won't. I think he'll make her kill him. But then he says it. I yield. The clearing erupts. Morrigan's pack is cheering. Killian's pack looks shocked. Saoirse steps back, transforming to human. She's covered in blood and injuries, but she's alive. She's alive and she won. I run to her, not caring about protocol or rules. I wrap her in a blanket and hold her while she shakes. You did it, I whisper. You actually did it. I did it. You're free. He has to leave you alone now. We're free. Killian stands, transformed back, looking older somehow. You fought well. The challenge is complete. I'll honor the terms. He leaves with his pack, and for the first time in a year, Saoirse doesn't have to look over her shoulder. 3 months later, everything is different. Saoirse got a new job at a wildlife rehabilitation center. Turns out being a werewolf makes you really good with animals. She's thriving, learning, growing. Morrigan's pack has become our family. We have weekly dinners. Game nights. Brid is teaching me how to bake, which is going terribly, but we're having fun. We moved into a new apartment together. Ground floor, reinforced bedroom. Very understanding landlord who definitely knows what we are and doesn't care. And tonight, I'm taking Saoirse to the place where we had our first date. Why are we here? She asks. Because I have something to ask you. Devika, you already proposed. During the worst possible moment. I said yes. We're getting married. I know. But I wanted to do it right this time. Without the looming threat of death. I get down on one knee. I pull out the ring I've been hiding for 2 months. Saoirse, you're a werewolf. I'm a disaster. Together we're a complete mess. But you're my mess and I'm yours, and I can't imagine my life without you. So will you marry me? Officially? With a ring and everything. She's crying. Yes. Obviously yes. I slip the ring on her finger, and it's perfect. I love you, she says. I love you too. Even though you're definitely going to give me a heart attack someday. Probably next week. Probably. We kiss, and it's perfect, and for the first time in a year, everything feels right. 6 months after that, we get married. It's a small ceremony with the pack as witnesses. Morrigan officiates. Brid cries. Even Neve gets emotional, though she denies it. My family shows up, still not knowing the truth about Saoirse, thinking she just has a chronic health condition. They love her anyway. During our vows, Saoirse promises to love me through every full moon and transformation. I promise to love her through every disaster and chaos that comes our way. We kiss, and everyone cheers, and it's the happiest day of my life. 1 year after that, we're sitting on our couch. Saoirse is reading. I'm scrolling through my phone. Our dog, a rescue named Chaos because it fits our lives, is sleeping between us. Hey, Saoirse says. Hey, remember when you told me I was going to ruin your life? Yeah, you were right. You absolutely ruined it. And yet you stayed. Because you ruined it in the best possible way. My life before you was boring. Predictable. Safe. And now it's chaotic and unpredictable and occasionally terrifying. But it's never boring. And I wouldn't change it for anything. She kisses my forehead. I love you, Devika Sharma. I love you too, Saoirse Sharma. Still can't believe you convinced me to take your last name. You hyphenated. Don't be dramatic. Saoirse Sharma Murphy is a mouthful. It's distinguished. It's ridiculous. You're ridiculous. We're ridiculous. Everything about us is ridiculous. And I love it. She pulls me closer, and we sit there in comfortable silence, and I think about how a year and a half ago, I was just an ER nurse living a normal life. And now I'm married to a werewolf, part of a supernatural pack, and carrying around a wooden spoon in my purse just in case. My therapist says I have boundary issues. I think I'm just really good at adapting. Either way, this is my life now. And I wouldn't have it any other way. If you made it this far, thank you for coming on this absolutely unhinged journey with me. Drop a comment telling me your favorite moment, smash that like button, and subscribe for more chaotic Sapphic stories, because I've got plenty more where this came from. This is Devika signing off, reminding you that love is love, even when one of you is a werewolf and the other one tried to make poison in the kitchen that one time. We're all just doing our best out here. And sometimes, your best involves wooden spoons and werewolf challenges and marrying the woman who tried to warn you she'd ruin your life. Turns out, getting your life ruined by the right person is the best thing that can ever happen to you. The end. Or is it? Because next week, Saoirse's going to tell me she's pregnant, and apparently werewolf pregnancies are extremely complicated, and I'm going to have to learn a whole new set of supernatural medical protocols. But that's a story for another time. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.